CW here. Got this back out on the bench. This is the one I just put the Tang sight on. Saw the video. I apologize for the sound in that video. My microphone was going wonky. And got a new one. And it seems to be working okay. What I'm going to do now is we're going to refinish these stocks. They're pretty much plain. Nothing fancy about them. A little bit yellow, orange color. And they got some nicks and marks in them. We're not going to go crazy repairing, because if you've ever refinished stocks on some of these guns, you've only got a little bit here. You've only got, it's just a little tiny bit proud of the metal. And if you go beneath the metal, it looks like heck. Actually over here, it's already even with the metal. Back here, you got to keep this flush or proud slightly. So if you start sanding on this wood, you'll make it smaller and it's no good. So we got to strip this with a stripper. So I figured I would start a video, not so much to show the process, steel butt plate, but to kind of show before and after. We're not doing anything with the metal. We're just going to refinish the wood. So I don't remember on these Winchesters if I have to pull this whole front apart to get this off. I think I do, looking at the wood. I think I do, but we'll see. Hopefully I don't. The Marlins, you can pull them back and slide them off, but I think the Winchesters, I think they require more disassembly, which we'll do what we have to do. So there we go. All right, so let me get this apart. I'll come back and show you the pieces, and we'll get started. Stand by. All right, there's all our pieces parts. And it wasn't too bad. There was a little bit of corrosion. A little bit of corrosion up underneath this front strap. But not bad. No pitting. A little bit of corrosion under here. A little bit dry in the action there. But I'll address all those things. I found a little bit of rust back here on the assist mainspring. But overall, not too bad. The tube is in nice shape. A little bit of marks here. We'll get all that cleaned up. But everything looked okay. The wood came off like I thought. You had to take the front off because of this. But there it is. I've got some spray finish remover, varnish remover. Hopefully it's going to do the trick, because I don't want to sand on this really at all. I want to just steel wool it, take the whiskers out, and go from there. So let's do it. I'll come back. I'll bring you through pieces. I'm not going to show you step by step. Basically, I'm going to spray this, let it sit for whatever it calls for, 15-20 minutes, scrape it off with a plastic scraper. Do it again. Probably have to do it a couple times to get the finish off, because the days of zip strip are pretty much done. That stuff used to work really good. And the stuff available today just isn't the same. So probably have to do that. And I will bring you back where I can and show you what things look like. I'm not going to stain it, I don't think. We'll see how white this wood is, how blonde it is. We'll go in steps and see what we get. So stand by. Okay, just a quick return, quick follow-up for you. This is after about 2 days worth of coating and scraping. The way this citrus stripper works is you get a plastic scraper, plastic putty knife, like an old credit card, works really good, but and you just scrape the finish off. And I did it and did it and did it. And you can see by the darkness here, it worked a little better in some places than others. In here, this was previously stained. So what I get was, when I try and come back here and take this out, it's stained deeper in there, and I can't, without sanding, I can't get it out. So it's going to be a dark spot, nothing I can do about it. And it's because it's the edge of the grain, and when it was first finished, it wasn't smoothed down enough, so it took more, the stain penetrated better, so it's going to be darker, and there's nothing I can do about it. Same thing with these edges, because I can't remove material. What I'll get is I'll get a finish that's not proud, or that's no longer fit to the metal, because on the lever actions everything is smooth. You know, the metal comes in here and fits flush. Metal comes in here and fits flush. This fits flush with the edge of the receiver. So I can't remove material. So I can only steel wool just to take like whiskers off. So I'm kind of limited, but I was able to get a lot of the surface scratches out. You can see a couple of them still remain there. You can't feel them, but they're still there. And you can see this darkness, and there's nothing I can really do much about it. I can sand a little bit more. This is a bad dig, and it's mostly gone, but I can't get it out. I tried steaming this one, and I got a little bit out of it, but it must be gouged, not dented, because dents will generally come out with steam. You put a wet cloth over it, and you put your tip of your iron for ironing clothes, and it'll penetrate and swell the wood fibers, and it'll come up and remove the dent. But it didn't work. Same over here. I was pretty sure this would come out, but it didn't. This darkness down here is the same thing. It was not sanded well with the original finish, or it sat in a place where it was able to soak in oils. I don't know. I don't know the history of this firearm. So, it kind of is what it is. But it was really orange. So I hit it with a coat of spiced walnut stain. Normally it's way darker than I like, but because it was so orange, I wanted to try and fight that. I almost like a redder color, but I didn't know what orange and red was going to do, being the wood was already orange. So I figured the dark stain was my better option. So I'm going to hit this a little bit more because I can feel that there's a little bit roughness here. It's not as glass smooth as all this is. So I'm going to hit this a little bit more and see if I can do anything there with the steel wool. But again, I can't. I guess I could sand a little bit there because it wouldn't hurt. But I got to be careful not to get down into this because I can't touch that. I can only sand in here. And if I change that shape, no one would ever know. So maybe I can get in there and get that out a little bit. We'll see what I can do. But just wanted to come back and show you. I got that orange, most of that orange color subdued. I can't say I got it off, but they match pretty good. And with a bunch of coats of finish, I think it'll come up pretty nice. It's not figured or anything, so it is what it is, but it should be better looking than it was. So we'll come back when I got some more done, and I'll show you some more. So stand by. Alrighty, here we go. I was going to take the last little video with it off, as it was finished, but I figured I'll just stick it on. So this is 8 coats. And I took it back down to wood with steel wool after 3, and then back down hard, but not to wood, after 6. I was going to leave it at 7, but I had a little bit of blotchiness, possibly because I wasn't as careful smoothing it out. So this last coat, I was real careful, rubbing it in really good, and I think it came out pretty good. You're going to see it through the stages. For me, it's been most of a week, so I kind of forget, but I know it was pretty orange. So you'll be able to see as we go through the color changes. Didn't take a lot of wood off. This was stripped, not sanded. There was no sanding here at all, just steel wool. And the reasoning is, like I said, it's the fit. It's everything is flush. And if I start sanding, I'm going to make it's going to look atrocious. Now, I did have there's a little bit of proudness, but I'd rather have that because that's the way it was from the factory. But everything is really good. Here on the butt, you can see where there's no change in size. Everything is perfect as it was. Fitment is perfect as a steel butt plate as they came. This dingus here, this dent, didn't steam out, but it's less. There was a dig up here. That partially came out, but not entirely. This side here was pretty clean. This side here just had a little bit, and then this over here was probably the worst of it. Riding on something or up against something, but it's better. It's better by a lot. Was pretty plain walnut, not much figure in it at all, and that's what we've got still. It's got a little more life to it, a little more depth in it, but there it is. It's been finished for about 2 days, so I let it, sit to really harden up. And then I just hit it with 4.0 steel wool because my brother-in-law requested not shiny, which I agree with. I like an oil. A sheen is okay, like what you see here, but not shiny per se. And all this is steel wool down to take the sheen off it, and then oiled. I just wiped it down with the Ezox cloth over the wood and the metal. So there it is. That's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to look. Hopefully today I can shoot it, because he wants to take it for the end of the month. He's going to see his brother, and I believe this was his father's, so their father's, and I believe he wants to take it to show it to him. So it's going to be done for him. But I loaded up some shells with a moderate load of my 170 grain cast bullet, and I'm going to shoot off hopefully only about 6 or 8 of them, get it on paper and get it sighted, and then he'll have the rest of the 60 to shoot. I believe we're going to be okay. This front sight is a little bit taller than what was on there, which is really what I wanted. There's a fair amount of adjustment here, but we are down most of the way. So there's not a lot of up movement. Not a lot of down movement in here. So we're down as far as we can go. So we'll see what we get. Maybe I'll try and find a piece of leather I can put a tong on there for him. But we'll see. But there you go. Start to finish was about a week and a couple days. For you guys, it was however long this video is going to be. Can't really tell. But I'm already almost 5 minutes into the final. So let's close this up. And there we go. Winchester 1894. I forget the date on it. It's a pretty big number, so it's not an old one, but it is the stamped steel parts inside, so it's not the desirable cast parts, newer ones. But there we go. God bless everybody. CW.